why Trump is winning at losing and losing at winning. It's indicative of his trait and who he is and what he does. He basically has this model where he denies, and attacks. Something he learned from Roy Cohn, his mentor. Look at that movie, The Apprentice. He breaks it down exactly what his strategy is. He's been playing the court system for 50 years since he first got sued by the Nixon administration for not letting black people in him and his father's buildings. Understand this. The real game that's happening right now is that what he wants to do is get a legacy fortune for his family. And I got to tell you, it's working. Here's what's happening. He's getting money on the low, on the back end, through his meme coin. His meme coin is like a Swiss bank account. That's why he suddenly loves it. Because countries and corporations, multinational corporations, can put hundreds of millions of dollars in there. And the way he gets the money and his family gets the money through their meme coins is that they loan against it and they have their cash flow paid for the loan. Why do they do that? That's how wealthy people work. Let's say this building right here. There are buildings, big buildings luxury buildings up downtown Chicago. Let's say they have a luxury building, but they have investments where they made a profit. Instead of making a profit that's taxable, they put that money back into real estate, or they put that money back into something else, or they expense it down. Remember, corporations are charged. This is coming from a capitalist, a person who runs a business, who worked on Kamala Harris's campaign, who's got 30 years marketing, branding experience, and who's been running his own company for 20 years. So listen very clear to me. Individuals are taxed based on growth, on gross, corporations are taxed based on net. That's why if you look at the balance sheet of any major corporation, say Apple or Google, they always have it expensed out to where they can pay out everything else, and then it goes back. Now, what does that have to do with Trump? Very simple. He makes sure his companies that make all his money off of these different things he sells, including licensing of his name. You can't see it in the middle of the night, but I am literally in view of the Trump Tower building in Chicago every single day. And right now I'm in a model building while they're working on my apartment. In my apartment, you can really see it clear. It's a beautiful building despite its name. But that man doesn't own the building. He licenses his name out. And the real estate firms run it. Now, here's the interesting part about that. All that money he makes from licensing his names on things, from buildings to coins to whatever he basically takes that money and pays down his loans, because his loans are tax-free. So he gets tax-free money, and the money he does get is not taxable because he's expending it all out on tax-free money. So he gets, instead of him earning $100 million in a year, let's say he earned $100 million, he'll spend it all out, because all the money people are putting in, especially in this whole government scheme, are going into the coin. They go into the coin. He pulls out loans from the coin, him and his family, and then the money that actually shows up in the public, the cash flow, pays for those loans. The loans are non-taxable. So what I'm saying to you is he's making a good piece of money. He'll be worth, if he gets away with this for the next, term, throughout his term, if he can serve his whole term, he'll be worth about $100 billion at the least, his whole family. Major game going on. Major game. But I want you to understand, I said in the beginning of this is why he's winning at losing and losing at winning. He's winning at losing because every time he's at a loss, he can write that off expense-wise. And in the courts, every time he delays people and fights the courts, it mugs it up just that much more so he can do the back-end grift. It's never been about government. It's been about grift. Here's the other part of that. He's losing at winning because all of his money's going out in expenses to pay for the loans. So he doesn't end up paying. You see what I'm saying? They say, well, how can he fight it? By the time they fight it, this man will be dead. He's old. I have a group called the Clarity Group. Go in my description, see if you can get in. The idea is I talk about his family fortune like this. I break it down. There's some game going on, purified game. Will they ever catch him? Probably not. I'm very unlikely. But will they catch his family? Yes, likely. If they can trace the money. And that's going to be hard now that you've had all this time with him in power. It is a grift. It is the biggest fortune steal since they stole this country. I don't want you to be too down about it. The good news is because of his failures, we're actually winning in a weird way. I don't want you to be too down about it because of his failures, we're actually winning in a weird way. We're winning in courts. He is 6-72 because he knows on the front end he's breaking the law and he's basically doing this the wrong way. I'm trying to put this charger in. Excuse me, guys. He knows that on the front end. But on the back end, he knows the reason he's doing it is for the money. Follow me for more if I've earned your subscription. If you want into my private groups, which are invite only, reach out in the description.